My people tired of suffering. We need a change. Listen, you're not need to tell me what's happy. I can see it in your eye. No, something happy. I can see. You're not sucking, but your heart's sucking. Telling me you're hungry, you're not getting nothing. You're poor, you're careful. Some of your life more than decoy and cover full. Some of your lost you the zero one. Some of your breadwinners said you woman said no job. You're fed up with the hard living. Just to survive, some of your inner in the street making. You call the people so to help you. Who you're putting for? Look at how they did not back on you. They lie. They're not finished with the prophet reduction strategy. They lie to your division 2030. So empty. So can let it give it. And at the end, they defeat all of your improperty. I wish I was a millionaire. And someday I know empire. Let me make it clear. Instead of Johnny politics, I will build houses. Get loose to the post so they can pay taxes.
Allah, make you need a jano. Make you need a jano. Allah, you get eye, you can't see, you get mud, you can't tell your folk, you can't even walk. People hating you because you in the cap. Why you got the name in the cap? You're all in the community. What if I say the day for those with disability? Then government say they reopen the school. You now see hungry people go to school. Instead of giving job to the jobless, hope to the hopeless, home to the homeless. They manipulate the system and make it worse. Now they come and make it even by the couple rest. One man in more than 3 positions. They seem to they were against when they were opposition. You tell me what we did it to. So they think they got peace and justice, nothing for the poor. To be a money, they want you sell your soul. Either you cross the road or you bend down low. But I pray that my people rise. That one day God will show them your other big cry. Allah, we could need a jano. We could need a jano. Allah,
you know, when I see my country blessed with all the natural resources, and yet instead I see my people living in abject poverty, and I question myself, where have we gone wrong? I just wish I have the power to share the national cake so everybody can have a taste.
For the next 13 days, I will keep you crying. And you're crying all over the place? What I will continue to do, I've already succeeded in completely demoralizing your base. You're just crying all over the place. I haven't even started. I'm just warming up. How dare you, foolish, desperate people, talk about rescue country. Joseph Boakai couldn't even rescue himself. So when he passing around, oh, cause that this, cause that. Where were you when I raised him money left and right to feed him and fly him from hospital to hospital? Where were you all sitting there talking nonsense? Talking about cause I ain't got no integrity. I didn't have integrity when I was feeding Joseph Boakai, your God. Bunch of ungrateful people. Have you heard Joseph Boakai deny that I was raising money left and right to feed him? Have you heard him deny it? He will never deny it because he knows this to be true.
Some of you people thought I was never going to create service of Boakai.
Yeah.
Because I went to counties. I'm not creating service because I want to create service. I'm creating service because we said yesterday, former President, we are right private jet. When the Joseph Boakai had brought to power, is riding private jet from here to go to the country. Yeah. But I will speak because people in sacrifice of our past.
You refuse to give up the money before they say the matter already. You will explain, you get tired. I will fire you. Telling that the reason why I will fire you, I respected you I call you sister-in-law. I'm married yesterday, a few days. And she's running up and down. She carry you and member prison. You take that money. Where the late boss say he refused to give her the money before they saw the Martin who already. You will explain, you'll get tired. I will fire you. Tell you that the reason why I will fire you. I respected you. I call you sister-in-law. When you look at me, like in the fight for when you were enjoying, when you were benefiting from, I will never unforgive you. Just sat down there. Because of the position Senati gave you, people decided to fight Senati. Senati was never follow you there. But because you failed the thing himself, that Senati empowered you to go for him. I want Senati lost his job today. Because of you, one of them. You don't know how I fought for. Say you now know I stood and fought for you. You go take money to sell to take me from capital building. You feel it. I will fight any at all. I will fight President Cooper. That one I'm passing on taking money and acting like she's building DA headquarters. You, me, Jerry Yomo. I will fight you. I will fight you. You do another talk. Musa Berete was jailed. Let me tell you something today. I want Musa Berete to find a way to take you for CFC. And when I have a looping, Musa Berete took advantage of that situation to take you from CMC. Because you got another crook. You better go back there and knock on this super and go pay the money like that. Yes, number 12. Hey, yeah. Let Joseph Boga go wrong campaign for you. I will wrong campaign against you. I let the government making me party now. I let the way looking everything. Looking sorrowful. I can get sorrowful. You don't can get sorrowful. The person that hungry and I can get sorrowful. Since 2001, 2007, I put my hand. I'm going very politics. As the president number 10 will tell you that you can have me. You know you can have me. You can't have a great toll with your phone there before I be on food to eat. Like Jacob TV. You can't be saying about yourself.
Freedom fighter, you destroy our country. People that are brought to power regret why I have to vote for them. Money in the country that we can live for, we don't need money from outside. But we don't want to empower people. We say that I'm more famous. We have become more famous. We have become criminals. We put all the money in the budget for ourselves and leave them out. I want to tell you some of y'all.
Making talk, because that's it. You decide that one. Different zone. We are sent Jose in my brother to the hospital. You go ask Costa. Let me say, Costa was there. But the thing, you when I say, you want waste more because judgment day coming, and you know, you gotta go to the priest to do confession. The priest is the priest. Politics is politics. I think President Weah should be forceful. And I think Joseph Boakai want to talk. Let him talk to President Weah or Madam Sadiq or those people that challenging him. He shouldn't call his people dogs. Back him dogs. Don't take it on the people. Take it on President Weah himself. Call his name. Don't make the people homeless. If you want to attack President Weah, Joseph Boakai, we appreciate attack President Weah. You've been there. You're in the club together. But when you leave the presidency and the man and the woman that reside in the office and call your people dogs, you should talk about it. So I think President Weah should come out every day if he can, and his message should be on President Boakai. Not on Daniel Sano. Who is Daniel Sano? Not on Jeremy Pierre. That's not his Pierre. That's not his colleague. He should attack President. And let Teungondo go for Joseph Boakai. He play around. He go directly for Joseph Boakai. That's politics. So you'll be there advising a political leader and say, don't tell them one too hard if people get bad. No. And so if Joe Manuel said what he said, and if it is true, Joe Manuel should say continuously. He should attack President politically, attack President Bwaka. And I think that's the right way to go. If Joe Manuel look at Mawata in Rarita Maki, Dr. George, and tell Mawata and her children that I supported you yesterday, I'm not doing it today, I will get back with Joe Manuel because he make a life like that. If Joseph Bwaka look at the people on the street and say the Liberian people can beg too much, I get best with Joseph Bwaka because he contributed to the backing, Jacob. But if you look at Joe Manuel and say, Joe Manuel, Bwaka for you the receipt, show me the receipt. I will dance for Joseph Bwaka.
Music. One more freedom for one more freedom for
Oh, yes, indeed. What a great day. What a wonderful way. We'd like to welcome all of you to this Monday morning presentation of the nation's premier breakfast conversation.
But when they give their time, they change their mind. When they give their time, they change their mind. What kind of people they so? They are freedom fighters.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Liberia. Good morning, just wherever you are this morning. On our voice, a pleasant way. We'd like to welcome all of you to this May 18th edition of the Freedom Money Rise on Freedom 87.9, the People's Radio. What a wonderful weekend it was. And it's good to be back. We are back. And everybody hooping around the city and across the country, jogging towards that tax that puts food on your table. Good morning, good morning. Welcome and welcome to the People's Radio, the conversation that indeed.
They said they were liberators. When they welcome me, they say they want
brightens your day. Oh yeah, too many things to talk about. Lots of things happening in Liberia. Good morning to our friends in the diaspora. It's always a good thing to have you join us for breakfast right here on the issues that matter most to Liberia's growth and development. And that's what we are. Freedom 87.9, the People's Radio. And this is exactly where we say the truth. And of course, speak truth to power without fear nor favor. We do not mince our words. And it's good to be back here this morning. What's the menu, the shape and size of the conversation? Too many things to talk about. Lots of things happened over the weekend. And yes, indeed, as you may be aware, our president had earlier on traveled to Nairobi for the Africa Forward Summit. And of course, we all stumbled across this interview with our president, Joseph Newman Bwaka, with French television, France 24. And there are more to the interview than just the point of the president's response to the Guinean leader in the border situation. There are other parts. This morning, we are going to spend more time on that to help you understand more. Did the president put up a good representation? In fact, it was interesting to know that the president once more insulted the Liberian people again on international wire. Oh yeah, you're just hearing this because we spent our time going for the details. Why is President Bwaka so fun? Speaking in derogatory manner to his citizens everywhere he goes. He looks down and speaks down on Liberia. And this time around, the president told the world that Liberians are lazy set of people. Lazy set of people. This is the president. And folks, just be there. We are going to give you the full details right here. Of course, the regime speaker, Richard Nangbeko, over the weekend held what he considered his district report, his annual district report. We're still trying to lay here on the full carpet, but from what we follow and feedbacks we're receiving from the district, there are murmurings, they're grumbling already that the speaker just did not provide the kind of report that represents a financial practitioner, an accountant, so to speak. How do you provide a report to the district wherein you're only telling us about expenditures, about things you did, or you refuse to tell the people of district number 11 how much the district 11 received, from which you are making all of these expenditures and all of that, so that people can be able to do proper bookkeeping. They say Richard Kun was just saying, oh, I gave money to Kapao. I put another billboard on the side. I gave the one to the market women. But what the people wanted to know is that Mr. Richard Kun, Mr. Speaker, how much did District 11 receive for the period under review? Then when we know how much District 11 received for the period under review, then we can do the relevant mathematics with what you have expended. Then we know what remains there. Before we can start to talk about the due diligence in expanding this money, we want to know how much of the district people money, district development fund, social development fund. District 11 said they are disappointed that the speaker of the country, the regime speaker, and their lawmaker will go, instead of presenting a comprehensive report, uses the occasion to present his concubine. Okay, lots of debate.
When they were coming, they said they were labor.
The CDC has announced
They were coming, they said they were liberators.
the grand celebration and observation of its 22nd anniversary, concomitantly with the Militant Day celebration.
What kind of people they
This time around, the party has chosen Grand Jida County, and of course, the CDC is rallying and mobilizing all of its
are you killing now?
forces
Freedom, what are you teaching
for a grand celebration, rejuvenation in the southeast. Southeasterners, the party is coming home. The leader is coming home. From June 24 to 27. What is this we're hearing about the University of Liberia? A call to increase registration fees and other fees are being paid. The president of the University of Liberia, Dr. Lily Mapaya, is quoted as saying that the cost of everything required to run the university has increased. Fuel has increased. The transportations of the generator needs to be up as well. And that the fees are currently being paid are infinitesimal. And the students should brace themselves. What does this debate look like? What do the students feel about it? Is this a clever attempt to undermine and undercut the free tuition policy. Equally so, we have been getting snippets from the General Auditing Commission audit of the free tuition at the University of Liberia. Folks, we're interested to know. The government seemed to be painstakingly moving around, finding means to cancel this whole free tuition. The government of today sees it as a burden. We're gonna put this up to you. Speak and speak and speak. Gratefully that the president is back in the country. We're going to also take a moment to remind the president about the Special Presidential Committee report on incident and situation at the Liberia Airport Authority, where key among the recommendation was the removal of the board chair, who was deemed to be a very toxic, and of course element within the ranks and file to pave the way for the reform that's required at the Liberia Airport Authority. Good morning, the shipping size of the conversation for you right here on the People's Radio, Freedom 87.9. My name is Abu Sharif. It's always a good thing to be here. And of course, we're going to take a bite of our theme song, and once we come back, we'll dive straight into the conversation right here.
There are crimes in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime, report it. Don't take law in your hands for the real authority. Well, it can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a human target, I mean you check. Do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, let's stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, let's stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Cyan.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, let's stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, let's stopping crimes for all of us.
Okay, thank you very much, Crime Stopper Liberia. Folks, welcome. Kindly share the show and, of course, drop your comments on each of these highlighted conversation right here for you. Okay, so there is a public health concern that we need to start talking about, right? As much as the government of Liberia has not responsibly reached out in ways, but we have a duty to our people. So there is a public health emergency alert already out there in the public. surrounding the situation of an emergence of new Ebola cases in the DRC. That's the Democratic Republic of Congo. So the Ministry of Health of the Republic of Liberia has issued a national health alert following reports of an Ebola virus disease (EVD) outbreak in Ituri province, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. In a press statement over the weekend, the ministry clarified that there are currently no confirmed Ebola cases in Liberia, but said national health authorities are closely monitoring the situation in collaboration with regional and international public health partners. The ministry noted that Liberia remains mindful of the devastating impact Ebola previously had on the country during the 2014-2016 outbreak, emphasizing that the experience strengthening the nation's disease surveillance laboratory system, border health insurance measures, emergency preparedness, and healthcare workers' capacity. Right? Some of those are argued, but this is what the Ministry of Health is saying. So does it? Be watchful, be mindful. This is where we are. Let's hope we do not have the repeat of 2014 experience with the Ebola virus disease. But this is where we are, folks. Good morning to our followers. Let's begin with you right here. Let's begin with you right here, right? Please, gentlemen, y'all, let's share the show. This is the biggest breakfast conversation in the country, and we don't want to be selfish with it. We want to share it as wide as we can, because mind you, when we come here, we bring you very credible and important piece of information. We the way we make our selections on what to talk about and what to bring you is squarely based on exactly where we see the national interests heavily lean, right? So let every Liberian, no matter where they are, so each of you that here, whether you're 100 or you're 10 or you're 50, just share it by 2, right? So share that times 2. If there are 50 of you here, each person shares the show twice, right? We're going to be having a very sizable number of people to follow, right? So let's always make that our duty. And also, drop your reaction. This country is yours, right? Whatever that's bothering you, you speak to it. And that's why we always find time to highlight your comments and your contributions. So let's begin with you, Venetia Jr., who's following from Niku Town, and then Ruben Kane is also following. You have Abu Dukle. Good morning, my brother. He says, this is Emmanuel Bro. Good morning, Abu Sharif, and my fellow viewers watching from Minneapolis, USA on this Monday, May 18, 2026. Sorry. This is Patrick G. Caddy. Patrick is also watching from Broadway City. Samuel Light Cooper. Our man, Samuel joins from Catwell. Okay, so let's see. Jeremy Dwyer is watching. Philip Kimia Jr. Good morning, Philip Kimia, watching from Broadville City. Our Broadville people, I must give it up for our people in Broadville. And I'm told there are a lot of radio followers in the Caldwell area there, Louisiana, White Plain, going all the way, and all these places is good. Rural Monserrato, let me just put it out with Rural Monserrato has always been doing very well. Charles Weah, Abu Bakar Sharif, you have Limo, Chairman Bon Pekin. Good morning, Freedom Family. I'm viewing from Old Road District number 10. Charles Etta Saybold. Keep up the good work. She says, this is Blatton. Blatton, please follow. He's urging others. This is Philip Tar. Good morning, Abu. I'm following from Golo Mining Camp, Double Bridge, Grand Jida County. Okay, Grand Jida, get ready. The CDC is coming right there. Otto G. Johnson Jr. says, good morning. I'm Otto. following from around the Freeport of Monrovia. Thanks for the show. This is Kubo Wida. Kubo says, good morning, Abu Sharif. I'm following from Kakada Magibi County. Ezekiel Dodo. Good morning, watching live from district number 17, Montserrado County. Makra is our brother from Ganta. Thanks, Andrew T. Nangbe. Good morning, Mr. Sharif. I'm following from my resident in Thumbs Up Community Township of Cardwell. Keep up the great job you're doing. This is Bobby Jala, Amar Jala Kamara from Brussels, Nana Kopo, Mark T. Johnson. Good morning, Freedom Family. It is always good to start the day here following from district number 11. This is Bukari Sharif is also joining, Orita Nangbe, Honorable J.D. Williams, my dear sister, Stanley Sharif. Okay. No, Stanley, Ebola is not in the country yet. Ebola is not in the country. Just an alert to just put all of us on guard. I mean, that's exactly what Ebola is still way there in Congo. But the government and, of course, the health authority are trying to put all of us on our guard. This is Peter Tukba, Clarence Koleyon, Alaska Pay, Ansu Di Sano. This other person's name is in Chinese. I'm sorry, I can't. It says Kala Kolo people everywhere. Keep on the good work, guys. I'm following from district number 11. Maybe you can put a name in Chinese, but what? Lazarus Kau Niue. Good morning, Abu, and thanks for always taking the time to inform us Liberians about the happenings in the country. Stanley Sherry once more, Jasin S. Tableau, Stephen Fala, and a host of you keep dropping your comments and sharing the show, and that will be your contribution. Let's hold it right there. Right, let's hold it right there because we have just exactly little under 2 hours to go, and it's important. Right, it's important. So the in-house is going to look at a few things, beginning with the University of Liberia, and also looking at the CDC anniversary that's coming up, and then the LAA committee reminder for our president, which is very, very important. And of course, we go to our main conversations that's going to center around the office of the president and, of course, the office of the speaker, the regime speaker. So it promises to be a very interesting conversation this morning that you don't want to miss for whatever reason right here. So let's start up, right? Start up with the CDC. So the CDC has been in existence for 22 years as a very fledgling, active, and top-notch political organization within the body politics of our country. It is a milestone. And of course, the Party National Executive Committee have decided to honor that historical sojourn. And to do so, they have also organized and set up a steering committee, a central committee to coordinate the observance, the celebration, the commemoration of the CDC 22nd anniversary that coincides with the militant celebration. You know, the CDC is a party that's very diversified, and beyond its diversification, it also pays attention to every segment of the political organization, right? And that's why most of us believe that the ideology of the CDC is grounded in grassrootism, right? And that is a good thing. When you recognize everybody for who they are and whatever they're contributing. And this party has consistently recognized the militants, those men and women who are in the trenches, defending and, of course, heralding the CDC message and defending and protecting the CDC legacy and CDC image. The party, the organization have always set aside a moment to honor those men and women. And there's also a Matthias Day. So we don't hear these things often with other political organizations. All we see with them is They just prepare themselves for election time, and then they come here, they create whatever, and then that's it. After, they turn their back and they focus on other things. But the CDC always remain engaged with the community, always remain engaged with the people, always remain engaged with the foot soldiers, the militants, and all of that. And that is the reason why each of you need to cherish and prioritize the CDC. And this is it. And I believe these are some of the reasons why people equate the commitment of the grassroots to the CDC as a cult. No, it isn't a cult. Rather, that is an organization that remains in touch. That is an organization that defines a purpose through the commitment of its followers and its support base, right? Which is a good thing. So, Grand Gila County Zweju is the venue, and of course, the committee has been set up, and Maryland County Senator Glebo Brown is the chairperson of the committee, co-chair by former Senator Henry Yala of Bond County, and of course, the Secretary General is also there, Anthony Gelate, right? A host of other committed partisans, believer in the CDC ideology, and of course, allies to the CDC struggle and all of that. So, clothed with the responsibility vested to the executive committee of the party to deliver. So, and it is a tax beyond the committee. It is a tax and responsibility that's to each and every citizen across the country, as I have been told. So as we're announcing now, the official itinerary will come out, and once the committee meets officially and puts plan together and draw up the necessary relevant itinerary for public dissemination, will be right here to also alert you and bring you up to speed with that, to aid in your preparation and all that. But guess what? You need to start preparing like now. Wherever you are, you need to start preparing like now. This is the midterm election for the CDC. I equate it to a midterm election in that this is the moment. This celebration in Grand Gila is the moment to send the shock wave to the to those in power, to send a real strong message to them, just as that would have been done in a midterm election, where Liberians who have communicated strongly and firmly. So the turnout, the euphoria, the support, the participation, the involvement, sacrifice whatever you can, rally, come around, and let the nation stand on its feet. Let every other thing bow on this faithful celebration of the CDC Day, and that will be a message. That will be a strong message. But we're going there. So that is just that for you. Beyond, then we have the University of Liberia, right? Let's go to the University of Liberia, fellow citizen. Over the weekend, the University of Liberia president complained. The University of Liberia has lodged a complaint, right? And this is it. And now, so we are saying, and we are asking, with what we are gathering from the cycle of because over the weekend I spoke to a lot of people within the faculty and and other stakeholders within the ranks of the University of Liberia, just to understand what is the debate internally. And the debate, and I will tell you clearly, the university administration, but it begins with the government, with central government. Central government is absolutely exhausted with the free tuition and all that. It's very much exhausted with the fact that, they are of the opinion that students are underpaying for the education. The government is outraged. The government is angry. The government wants to erase that. So to speak, the government wants to stop that, right? They want to use education as a business. They want to use education to fund their pockets, so to speak, because most times the money that go to the budget ends up in their pocket. And this is we have Augustine P. Gaffron with the latest audit and report. And yesterday I was reading the 2025 autumn report, comparing that with the general revenue collection. Right? If you do the math between what was approved, the budget that was approved by the National Legislature for 2025, and the revenue numbers in the outturn that were generated, there is a variance, and that variance cannot be accounted for. Augustine Pigafon cannot account for. So revenue perform more, right? And we expended less. Government spend less. So there is a balanced money, right? That Augustine Gaffon and the government has not told any the Liberian people anything about. But that's another conversation for another day. But they are having all this excess money. But yesterday they are angry why George Weah and the CDC had to introduce free tuition to benefit the Mawata, the Malopu, the Paflumo, the Payakwawulu children and grandchildren to have equal access to tertiary education, right? They're angry about that and they want to scrape it off, right? They want to scrape it off, and they're not missing their words. They're doing everything because the very auditing commission that was sent to go and bore hole in the whole free tuition policy, right, agreed to one thing, that the introduction of the free tuition policy has triggered enrollment, right, has increased enrollment. And as a country, I think we should be celebrating that. So before the free tuition policy, there were less Liberians accessing tertiary education. But after the introduction of the free tuition policy, there are more Liberians accessing the free tuition. So why is the government trying to deny and carry us back to the point where more Liberians will not have the opportunity to free tertiary education? This is where we are going. This is exactly where we are going, and that is why it is very important for us to have conversations about these, because at the end of the day, you want to sit down and assess and see what is the benefit accrued, what can I be extremely demonstrative of patriotism, and all that, right? What do I stand to benefit in return? What do I get in return? So these kinds of basic social services, right, that are provided, right? That because all of us will not work in government now, to be taking salary daily and getting the different opportunities and all that. Now, so the University of Liberia says student fees are going to go up. They're beginning with the fees. So this is what we have officially. So the University of Liberia, through its president, is saying to all of us that student fees are going to go up. That means all of the different fees that you pay as student of the University of Liberia is going to go up. Students are going to have to adjust to the fact that over time, the student fees are going to go up. It's because the things we need to buy for students cost more. This is according to the president, Dr. Lily Mapanya. And you understand? But this is the woman that was heralded that, oh, she's coming from out there, she will lobby, she will connect the university, we'll get this, we'll get that. After how many years? Let's say 1 year plus, Lily Mapanya comes back, that the only strategy she has to grow the University of Liberia is to impose increased fees on struggling and ordinary students, right? And that's the only way she can grow the University of Liberia. So you see, that was another scam. That was another deception. When you told us that the reason why you're leaving every other Liberian qualified and competent to continue the tradition of Liberian presidency in the university, to go for a foreign friend and bring her, which we never had a problem with, we also as an opportunity to grow beyond our limit and all that. But now to see that after 1 year, this very lady is bringing absolutely nothing different, but it's going back to the same Liberian argument. That no, the only way we can grow the university is for the very poor student that we're trying to emancipate to be, to shoulder more burden. To shoulder more burden, fellow Liberian. Rescue is a scam everywhere. I mean, just any corner you put rescue, that scam operation, right? So absolutely, what is the difference between Lady Mapaya and a Liberian University of Liberia president. Why? To what advantage? To what end? That we would deny, our people and give to Lady Mapaya. She made a lot of travel. She brought nothing. She attracted zero to the university, to the point where she has to come back now and start looking at fees that students pay. Adika fee will go up, breakage fee will go up, transportation fee will go up, registration fee will go up, lab fees will go up, right? University Liberia student, guess what? These are the different fees. So, and this is just very likely that it will take effect as of the ensuing semester. How prepared are we? She says, our generators cost more now. Our buses cost more now. Everything that uses fuel is going to cost more because of this war. Dr. Lily Mapaya, president of the University of Liberia. So Dr. Mapaya, so what other value, right, have your appointment brought to the university? Aside from the fact that you're a well lady, and then you're slim, and then you speak American English, what extra value in terms of financial and elevation, in terms of logistical enhancement, what value now? Because for you to come back and return us to the same Liberian pattern says a lot. Now, the question we ask to you fellow Liberians, are we prepared, again, once more, right, to shoulder the burden of running the University of Liberia? Are we prepared? Or can our government, from within our national budget, right, consistently support the cost of tertiary education? The cost of tertiary education for our poor suffering masses, is that too much a burden for the government to carry? And the government is designing, and intelligently designing means to strip us of that right, to strip us of that opportunity. Thousands and thousands of Liberian students will be denied the opportunity because their parents don't have. Look at the class in the country. No job, right? No job, no opportunity, right? So families are struggling and managing, at least with the presence of a free tuition policy and a moderate fees structure that allows for parents to, for the semester, just get something like $3,000 or $3,500, and your child can go to school, University of Liberia, and any other tertiary university across the country. How is that a bad policy? And then I listened to I read a snippet from the GSC report on the free tuition, and I find it quite interesting, right? The GSC says, among many things, that they have established structural problems with the free tuition policy. And you understand? Which is obvious, because there is no perfect system now. There will always be issues. And that's why you have leadership in place to correct these things and fix them. But when you have a system, when you have an establishment in power that's seemingly weaponized against policies to defame the reputation of a past government, then there is a problem. And then we also ask another question: is the GAC? Let me say this very reluctantly, because this is not what I want to say. Because I'm one person that believes that we must maintain the sanctity of our integrity institution, but equally so, we must raise concerns when we begin to see signs, right, of ethical transgression on their part, right? When the GAC looks sufficiently in power to target people-centered programs and policy exclusively, engineered and instituted by the past regime, and always finding fault and finding issues with it, then there is a problem, right? When the outgoing leadership said the RRA role is a legacy project, of former President George Weah and the CDC. The regime used the very GAC again to launch an attack on that project. You understand? To the point where they had to even suspend the project to undermine the actual delivery date. And when I review the other report on the RRA project, and I'm bewildered, though, right? You go audit, compliance audit. Then I see you do reporting on the technical and engineering side of it, right? Which I think is a whole the mechanics of that is quite different from doing a whole compliance and accountability audit. But that's another conversation for another day, right? So we believe that's a serious issue. When our General Auditing Commission will only be seen as very empowered to target projects and programs that are considered flagship or legacy project for the past regime and erases an eyebrow. Now, here's what the GAC says about the free tuition. The General Auditing Commission has reported major challenges in the implementation of Liberia's free tuition policy for public university and community colleges, citing poor coordination, lack of a rating framework, and continued financial burden on students despite the government's 2018 declaration. And that which I don't want to agree with, because when we were there, we know how much we were paying for tuition, and we know what the case is. So it cannot be, but rather burden for the government. Government sees it as a burden for all. For now, these are fine, observation, right? Poor coordination, lack of rating framework, and continued financial burden. So now, this government has been in power for 2 to 3 years, right? If there are poor coordination, and then they have also continue on that pattern. They have also continued on that pattern, right? And there has been no point in time where the free tuition policy implementation has crashed. Absolutely not, right? So with the poor tuition, it has gone with the poor coordination, but yet still it has successfully gone on for over 6 to 7 years. So I don't know. So it tells you that there is some kind of intent beyond all of this. Lack of a rating framework. Okay, let's say the policy was pronounced, right? And then it becomes the responsibility and the duty of those sector actors to draw up the roadmap on the successful and effective implementation of the president's vision. So it is when the president declares a policy, it becomes a national policy, and the relevant authority needed. So assuming you're arguing that those that were in charge then, the people from the Commission on Higher Education, the different and respective university and other relevant government agency, did not sit down in a room to develop a blueprint, to develop a whole draft on this, that anybody can, and then you can go straight to the free tuition policy, and then you see this is it, this is it, this is that. But I don't know how that can be a material impediment to the continuation of the free tuition policy. No, I absolutely do not see that, because basically what is ordinarily supposed to happen is that fees that are supposed to be calculated as tuition per whatever rate the university had, the government of Liberia absorbed those ones. So the government of Liberia was the one responsible to remit that to the University of Liberia cover. So whether coordination, whether framework or written framework, or that one, they're not anything that looked like something. So you're trying to fool the people and trying to make it look like, oh, that's not a big headable thing. The bottom line here is the rescue government, Bouaka, wants to take away the free tuition, and it's important for Liberian to speak to this one. According to the performance audit report covering July 1, 2018 to December 2025, the policy increased enrollment You understand that? At public tertiary institutions, but fail to establish a uniform and effective system for implementation, which is a bare minimum, and compliance thing that should be effectively sorted out, and that should be the recommendation of the GSC instead of what we're hearing in the corridor about the cancellation of the free tuition policy, right? If there is structural coordination issues, then the government of Liberia should work now to strengthening these structural weaknesses with the free tuition policy and make it more vibrant, more effective, more sustainable. Then we'll give you plus for that, right? And then if there is compliance issue, the government of Liberia should institute the necessary measure to ensure that there are proper financial compliance and accountability around the policy instead of proposing for cancellation. Those are my thoughts, right? But we're going to open the phone lines and we'll hear from you on what's your thought about this. Why is this government vested in taking away everything that benefits the Liberian people directly? You have increased the cost of electricity, you have increased the cost of water, you are taking away the free education privilege for struggling masses. You're also going ahead to sanction the demolition of poor people's homes. You're taking away their businesses from them. You're denying them the opportunity. You're taking them from job. Why is the government targeting of the poor? Why is this government of President Bouaka, who promises to be a rescue government, policy-wise, right, approach-wise, seems to be targeting and affecting the poor people and things that benefit them, and seemingly desirous of stripping them of those social immunities that they continue to enjoy from the government? That's a very important thing for you to look at, for all of us to give our thoughts on, right? Let's go forward, fellow Liberian. Let's move now to remind our president about something. But just before we do that, let's take course on these three conversation quickly for you right here on Freedom. It is 7.9 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104 are the numbers to call, and you will be live. Okay, let's hear you. Speak now or forever hold your peace. This is our country. We do not let the government all by itself. We have to be part of the governing process. We have to be part of the conversation that shape our destiny and the destinies of our children. And this is the opportunity that you have. Let's begin with you. This very first caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Morning.
Let me say good morning to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Eugene Jobo, and I call you from Capital Bypass. Abu, it's quite frustrating and disappointing, that the policies of the government will all in at the ordinary people. When the president was nominated, the University of Liberia president was nominated, many said the argument was to see how, to lobby for on behalf of the university.
Mm-hmm.
That university couldn't stand on just the budgetary allocation from national government. So bringing her, that could be another advantage that she will go out and bring resources to elevate the university. But coming back now to the ordinary students, tuition will be increased, registration, will be increased, and even they are planning to cancel the free tuition. It's disappointing, but it is not strange. It's not strange to us. Yesterday, people said, pay our teachers good and cancel free tuition. Free tuition now is about to be canceled. So let's see what will be the argument. But in all, Abu, it's not good for our economy. It's not good for our people. Thank you so much.
Thank you very kindly. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104 are the numbers to call. And of course, you'll be live on the Freedom Morning Rise. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, Abu. How you doing?
I'm okay, but you have to always move away from your monitor.
I'm sorry, my son. This government will continue to have problems, and the citizen will have to continue with that problem. Because they are here to deplete the whole country. I'm saying this to say that the very devil that the president is dancing with is the same devil that working.
Mm-hmm.
Any other person that we beat is if we imitate from the president.
Okay, so which one of the issues are you reacting to? The cancellation of or the increment in fees at the university?
Yes. And the cancellation and the increment.
Okay.
The devil is working.
But what about the argument the university president is also putting up that the cost of running the university is going up? So therefore, they need to have fees on the students to pay because the cost to run the university is going up. Then the other argument too there is, why is the government not availing itself to shoulder those responsibilities, but rather they're trying to transfer that to the ordinary people?
And what I mean is that what the system was doing was abuse, and then they were coming to rescue us. And that's the rescue we are entertaining.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very kindly. Good morning. Let's hear you.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning.
Good morning to our listening audience. My name is Uvazin Kennedy. I do want to educate conversations for Slavery community. But then you see, when we told those guys that the men are projecting to us, they are incapacitated. These are the things. Free tuition policies when Dr. George Monowia and the CZ administrations took that responsibility to pay the parent tuition at the stable university and public university colleges around. He said, well, by yesterday, beginning from soup, one understand the remedy of education. Today, the most sophisticated people they brought to the Latin people, see the embarrassment of our country. Then the children about the people they are procured. If the ministry, the that Bob almost put on takers for themselves, not thinking about ordinary people today. But you see, if these are the things we told them that you all feel the pain and the reverse, moving in the university. So at least I teach them God that to increase their permanent salary, like they say in the past. Thank you, Abu.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine. The University of Liberia Authority threatening to increase fees and all that. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you. You know, people, it's very stupid. What I say, educated people. If you are in Masi, we are telling the people who should leave the script. It was very wicked. Because they know that they ain't getting no money from outside. So they want to use the university to be getting that money. They want to use that to get that money. Just try with the motorbike minutes,
but you think a good thing? You agree with that? You support the government to do that?
I agree for one. Because when I come on something, I just giving the people the very wicked. Then somebody increase it with the ordinary people will not be able to go there.
But the president, when you're campaigning, he said he was coming to rescue the country.
I was rescuing the people. But you know, the people want to rescue the people. They want to increase the university fees. What they want to do the president for support to go watch the football team.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Morris Masako and I joined the conversation from Brooklyn, Greenman Junction.
Go ahead.
And the issue concerning the releasing fund for the student of the University of Liberia. Myself, I am a student of the University of Liberia management.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the administration is somehow different. I don't understand. Imagine increasing article fees and over 5 semesters and no student are receiving anything.
Wow. So some other fees they even threatening or announcing to increase. They don't even provide them, right? Oh my God! For some reason, yeah, you need to call because even the ones you've been paying for say you're not getting it, they say they won't increase the fees. Good morning, Thomas.
Abu. Good morning. I need to say good morning to the audience. You know, someone and Sabo, me want to continue laboring for justice in a point for justice. Abu, first of all, I mean, say, thank you to the University of Library Administration. If they want to remove the free mission, that's a good thing. Very, very good. Because these same students across the state-run university, where they want protesting on the president, we are saying all kinds of things. Abu, people need to get online to register before they enroll at the state-run university president. We are saying, no, let's get us last. The whole infatuation free across all popular universities across the country. They made the Latin protest or party. Which university?
No, not entirely, but I think it was their right to demand more. I mean, and people, I mean, human being in nature, our wants or needs are insatiable. We don't get satisfied. We always want more. So, I mean, that was a desire for more.
Where there was nothing and little, I was then offer, appreciate, and then offer suggestion. What was their suggestion? Nothing. Everything was all about criticism. So it was not good. Then I remove it and change certain we are later because these guys they will suffer all what they did.
So are you if you say the outcome of it will be suffering for the Liberian people, are you supporting that?
Abu, let me say this, Anything that they go things they will do to put a vote against them, I will support it. Because when you do that, you put in a vote against it.
No. Everything can be about politics now. We have to assess the government proposed policy and see how it benefits the ordinary people. If it doesn't, then as a citizen, you tell the government that no, this is not good for our people, and will not accept this one. That's how we have the conversation.
Okay, Abu, let's have it there. But I'm not a civil society actor. I'm a politician.
You are a Liberian. You are a Liberian too.
I'm a Liberian, and I'm a civilian. And anything my opponents who understand the goal be important to me. Meaning, if there's any who keep praying for the government to fail. I'm not just to bad and say, oh no, this government must fail, and they will fail with God Almighty. No matter how can
remember a prayer point clear. But thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Thomas. Thomas and Sabo from district number 2, Montserrat County. Okay, let's take more calls. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu. This is Joe calling from West Coast.
Joe, go ahead.
Abu, that woman that asked the president how much money earning as salary. That I don't know, 18,000 plus everything else in America. But you know, it's good. I'm happy that they're going to increase it. During our days, we should send to the bus stop to go to get a vehicle to register. If you like the system that, at the end of the day, you have registered that day. And they say you should go black. The black that state. Right out of state, right out of state. They may win no book. They may destroy the country. The king and say, oh, the other you have to play with play. They say no anywhere. The very parents they used to say that we are moving, company with car. I also know where we pay our children for everything while we pay the currency. Then they go for them. Don't be sorry for them. They deserve what they're getting.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Don't be sorry for them.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning. Is the increment justified? That's what I'm looking. Whether sorry or not, but is it justified? Is the university administration putting up a valid argument for what they're intending to do? Good morning. Good morning. You gotta move away from your monitor now. How many more times should we say this?
Just I'm calling for all Matari every day when we are hearing that the university want to increase money towards students. It's not surprising to us because we told them that voting this old man will enter into something different, but people choose to vote because they said it was disenchantment. And then like on a serious issue, how can you increase extra fees whereas people in actual poverty and then the country is it is so terrible. It is so embarrassing, and then we're not supporting any form, but somehow to they have a common saying as say when you're in a town and when you're trying to give the broom to an elder man who you think that he knows all, and then if you understand, it is also him. So it is not surprising that when we walk out, we'll be leading in the wrongful path, and then we sit down and we're looking at him. But it is clear to a lot of people that if it's going to vote again, or understand who they want to vote for, and they will not vote or fuck bills that those who didn't tell anywhere and other things. So it's not surprising to us. They increase the fee to $1 million. If we don't go to school, we will go to school. But 2029, we'll vote through the ballot box.
Okay, thank you very much. So for him, this is a lesson learned for the electors. There's an opportunity for you to sit and reflect and have a sober reflection and know how to vote, who to vote, what to vote for. For a man who promised rescue is coming to take away from you the very things that benefit you directly. Look at even the commercial drivers. Somebody was telling me that, look, the people that are importing used car in the country, they're going through hell. At the ports, right? That they're going through hell. So all these things are happening. And our children, what we're suffering, we're getting out of high school, we passing through the university or the different colleges across the country, the government say that what they're targeting, they come and take away. So then we ask, what have you actually come to rescue? What have you really come to rescue? What are you rescuing? Let's take more calls on this. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning to Freedom FM family, and good morning to peace-loving people of the Republic of Liberia, and good morning to you, Joe, Bush, in studio in Liberia. The next constant Efamso ES come out this beautiful Monday morning. Brother Abu Sharif, this government, I don't know what adjectives can we use to describe the kind of government we have present.
No, forget about the adjective, but let's look at the debate that's on the table. The university says the cost of running the university is high, and so they come and increase all the fees on the students. Do you agree?
I have to look at that can never happen.
How you say it can never happen now? You part of the people
the act that university is university are responsible for only 10%. The rest of the funds to come from the government. If you say guy was not able to stay the affair of this country, you will not impose the bread on the poor people children. People who are in university, there are people who are not working, the parents get nothing, and that's not me. Even the 2,000 pounds or the 3,000 pounds, it's difficult for some people. Even as I speak, currently right now, so people not enroll this semester because
but the public say education is not cheap. Everything education is cheap.
So they want to tell me
you should try ignorant.
You're not educated. You're not important education more than President Boakai because they're making the chemo will bring to the policy.
They say the policy Jaria bring is not properly coordinated. Jaria brought it on it, even organized. That's what they say. So they come and move it from there.
Increase the fee to and they do that absolutely. There will be no comments for the packaging because they will package.
Hey, what kind of water man you give me say vacication? Good morning.
Yeah, morning. Hello.
Morning, sir.
Hello.
Morning.
Thank you so much for the show. What we see in the university is not a strange thing. During the United Party 12 years in power, some always worried positive. We understand what we went through at the university. So from February 2018 saw the struggle and brought situation and brought the digital regional process. Some of us thought it was a day for Liberians to celebrate. But these Liberians, some of those students, some of them were not in the university, some of them sat back on us.
Oh my my
The
God.
United Party have resurfaced, and the United Party is doing exactly what they believe they are able to do for Eleven people. So this will bring a comparison to contrast between the people to understand who are for the masses and who is against the masses. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. For him, he thinks this will provide a perfect opportunity for the very same electorates to evaluate, compare and contrast between the CDC's approach to governance and the Unity Party's approach to governance. Which one favors the masses and which one goes against the masses? Let's take Abdul Kane. Abdul has been trying to join. Abdul, good morning.
Good morning, Abu, and good morning to the many citizens in Liberia and the world at large. Thank you, Abu. Thank you for having me on your line. It is always a unique opportunity being on your platform, Abu.
Thank you.
You know, like many of our people, we talked to them during the process. We expected them to stick with the institution. They said they were disenchanted. We lost election by a margin of error. Today, because of that margin of error, we are where we are. Now, we can keep going back. I want to say this to citizens. The country is deeply divided. Mr. Boakai has divided this country on the basis of green and blue.
Today, but that's why the conversation we're having here, is a national conversation. It goes across. It doesn't identify colors. It doesn't identify party or whatever uniform you're wearing. Rather, once you are privileged and will have access to tertiary public education in the country, the administrators are saying fees should go up. What do you think about that policy from the government?
Where I'm going, when President Weah took the decision to carry the free tuition policy at the state-run university, all public colleges, he took that decision in the best interest of the ordinary Liberian, those Billabong and Goldsmith children who were finding it difficult to go to school because their parents could not afford the money to keep them in school. Yeah.
The GSE says the policy is poorly coordinated, no framework, no rating framework, and it is hurting the students more than it was meant to benefit them. So
the GSE, if the Auditor General decides to be a political man, he must be. That same free tuition, Martin Colley graduated from it. How did Martin graduate? Because the tuition was free. So I have Martin when Martin got deep or degree from it. That free tuition. Many people, even the Auditor General, got family link that graduated. I'm saying to you, the president must step in because that policy was not on the basis of who loved George Weah.
So you think the GSA is trying to be political with the free tuition policy?
No, I saw a barrage of audit report. Some of the audit report, when I read some of the portion of it, he was clearly speaking politics. When he tried to compare UP government, I think UP still but less, CDC still more. That is politics. If he decides to leave a professional job to be a politician, we're addressing at that. What happening on our campus? I just saw, I don't know if it is gossip. $10,000 Liberian have been added to registration and requirements.
No, we can't confirm that. We can't confirm that.
No, what I'm saying, I said, I don't know if it is gossip. I just saw a document.
Yeah, but I don't want you to spew gossip through our medium now. And I'm telling so just forget about the other one. That 10,000, please see just leave it there. What we can confirm, what we can confirm is that the university president has expressed and announced a desire to increase fees. What that increment will be, we don't know yet.
So we wait, but my source will not lie to me because my source on the campus there, they are feet on the ground. But I want to say to the president of the University of Liberia, you came with a good CV, madam. All we want you to do is to match that CV with the current reality in Liberia to help the honor privileged students, those beta ball sellers and goldsmiths, sons and daughters. Let their CV be in collaboration with the current day reality in the country so that they can have access to education, so that they can be part of the educated class. This is not about politics, like you said, Abu. And I believe the very government have key ears. They are ears on the ground. They see where the president canceled the tourism charges. We hope the president will also suspend the issue of any attempt to add fees to the current requirement registration. Thank you.
Thank you very much. His name is Abdul Kana of the CDC. And folks, that is exactly what it is. These kinds of conversation is important for you to speak. There's the same way we brought, and thanks to Avin for even mentioning that. I mean, not Avin, but Abdul. When we start telling you about the Kobo Shafi and all this, you all call in. You said, no, we were not, and the president suspended it. So if you do not speak now to this, they will roll it out. And your children will drop out of school because you know what? You don't have work to do, right? You don't have work to do. The lay market you are selling, city police take it from you, right? City police says you no longer sell on the screen, right? Your lay zinc shower you're in, the army people go, they break it down, they say, oh, that the army people land. The government say, the president say, government making new land. So you're dejected, you're hopeless, right? You're destitute in your own country, right? And then the children you depend on, in the African setting, our social security are our children. That's why you see the African men love to born plenty children, with the expectation that when he gets old and tired, these children will be there to take care of them. Unlike in the West, where our social security is the guarantor for our well-being when we have retired. So now, the investment or these children that you expect to be your tomorrow, the government is undermining that, because what the government is going to do is when the government increases fees, and then you're unable, and the children are unable to go to school, they come back in the community, they start riding motorbike. They will not have the energy or to ride motorbike, right? And the money generated from motorbike that hand to more. It cannot save for a decent future for themselves and a guarantee social security for you. So that's why you have to call. That's why you have to raise your voice. You have to challenge the government. You have to challenge the president and tell the president that, no, you can't do this. You're taking our job. You've broken our homes down. You've confiscated our markets, right? These children and the opportunity to have them empower themselves to be able to compete for decent living, to guarantee protection for us in the future. You do not even have a viable social security program, right? That guarantee even for the civil servants. Least to talk about the old folks and the elderly, the senior citizens. No care for them. They're languaging. We do not want to end up as beggars. That's why we want our children to go to the University of Liberia, to go to Tubman University, to go to the Bon County College, to go to the Bombing College and the Grand Bassa College and learn something and come out to be able to compete out there and guarantee something for us. And then you say you want to attack this one, you want to go after it. That if we are not able to pay fees, then that means we are dumb. This is it, fellow Liberians. So we are going to take a transition to other issues, right? So when conversations and debate like this come up, we expect you to put in your all, speak passionately, so that the president listens. And we know very well the president gets a regular briefing on this show each and every day. The president office, the vice president office, right? They never miss out on our presentation because they know this is where you have to come and channel your grievances. And this is where your grievances get heard and listened to. Now, Mr. President, this other one is for you. Mr. President, while you were away, we commenced a campaign to draw your attention to the situation at the Rabat International Airport, the symbol of our nation's aviation, and of course, the gateway to Liberia through the air. Mr. President, we were all concerned when we started to get all kinds of reports, and we commended your step taken to ensure that there is a responsible intervention. Learning from past mistakes, Mr. President, you chose to act in a way that we applauded. And now, Mr. President, when you set up the committee to investigate first and foremost, which was good, and there was time bound. And we kept going together until the committee also acted within the time frame stipulated. The committee reports are out. You gave a 60 days mandate for the implementation of the committee's report by the management of the LA, the Liberia Airport Authority. And Mr. President, interestingly, our own research established and investigations uncover that the board chair of the Liberia Airport Authority is the most singular man responsible for most of the issues there at the airport. And to fix it, you have to take administrative decisions on the board chair. And when we say these things, we just did not say it because we have a personal issue with Mr. Yan Martin or any other folks at the airport. But we said it because the action of Yan, administratively reviewed, points to undermining the viability of our national airport. And we felt that is unacceptable. People must not use, right, or be bent on the personal aggrandizement to the disadvantage of the state. And that's what we saw. We felt that was absolute selfishness. So now, Mr. President, while you're away, and I believe the report is already on your decks, but we've made it our duty to come here and use this platform and remind ourselves and remind the country and also remind you, Mr. President, that the committee reported something. Agree with the facts that we presented, that we reported about what was going on at the Liberia Airport Authority. This Yan Martin man, right, feels and sees himself, for as long as he remains, we believe. This is our belief. For as long as he remains, even after an independent investigation into matters there, for as long as he remains there, and contrary to the recommendation of the investigative panel's report, he will remain a stumbling block to the effective and efficient running and management of the Liberia Airport Authority. So the reforms begins with him, as recommended by your presidential investigative panel. Now, here's what the panel says in its report, Mr. President, and I'd like to highlight for you now that you're returned to the country. In light of the panel's findings regarding governance failures, it is recommended that the board of directors' leadership be reassessed immediately. Mr. President, the committee recommended that you reassess the board of directors at the Liberia Airport Authority. First and foremost, the first administrative and leadership bottleneck that was witnessed through the investigation proposed a reassessment of the board of directors. That means the appointments made, the decisions made, the personality on the board have got some issues. I've got limitations. I've got some reasons that are beyond the scope of professionalism that's negatively affecting operations and the smooth running of the airport. Now, also specifically, the panel found that the chairman of the board, right, of directors, did not engage in activities that extended into, the panels found that the chairman did not adequately coordinate. Mr. President, the reason why the board conclusively recommended that the chairman be removed, because in the review and investigation and assessment of the chairman's role and performance, it clearly shows that the chairman has been operating unilaterally without any coordination, without any consultation, and this is outside of the parameters of responsible leadership and administration. So the board said, no, you can run an international airport through these kinds of haphazard arrangements. So apparently, to fix this, the chairman, Mr. President, you have to take an executive decision to remove the chairman, the board chair, and nobody should be indispensable. And I'm not sure, Mr. President, you hold a view that Yan Martin is indispensable, even after an investigative committee set up by you, right, have exposed the inadequacies of Yan Martin and, of course, his contribution to the toxic working relationship and administrative drawbacks that are impeding the achievement of your vision in terms of what you want to see happen at the Liberia Airport Authority. I am a critic. I am your critic. And I am saying, beyond being a critic of the government, I'm also interested in, the right things being done in the country. And to be a critic that achieves my objective of ensuring that our eyes keep on the ball as a country and a government, I must remind you about taking the most appropriate decision as have been duly evaluated and recommended. Now, that's what they said. The chairman actions beyond the lack of coordination, the board's actions in alignment with his statutory mandate. He does not coordinate in line with his statutory mandate. He acts outside, ultra-vires of his statutory mandate as board chair. Instead, he engaged in activities that extended into the authority's day-to-day operations, right? So instead of being the supervisor, instead of being the man who provides checks and balance, right, and oversights on the administrative running of the area, he decided more to be a day-to-day operator of what happens at the airport, which was beyond his authority and the limit of his functions. And this, according to the panel, falls outside the scope of his statutory authority as board chair. Mr. President, that is flagrant leadership transgression. Usurpation must not be countenanced in such a responsible and professional space. Furthermore, the chairman failed to demonstrate the necessary leadership to manage and resolve the division and institutional disorder currently present within the Liberia Airport Authority. So then we ask, what is the purpose for keeping Yan Martin? So Yan goes around telling people that he is a bona fide unity partisan and that they own the government and they decide what happened. And Yan brags that the president cannot take any action and he will remain and his wishes will be achieved. And what are his wishes? To run the place, in any kind of unaccountable manner, to be collecting fees as board chair, whenever he desires, and that the leadership must always give him. Mr. President, if you do not take and act in accordance with the with this panel's recommendation on Yan Martin, it will compel the management team, and they will most likely be left with no option but to give in to Yan's demands. And giving in to Yan's demands will undermine and undercut your vision and, of course, expectation from the airport. And then we will come here and start to deal with you. That's what we'll do. Because definitely, when we start to get reports and understanding that the management team have absolutely kowtowed into Yan's cohesions and have already started doing business in line and in keeping with what Yan requires, which we believe are outside of the paradox of responsible leadership and accountable governance over the airport, then we know that indeed, Mr. President, you have failed to demonstrate leadership when required, that even your very self established a committee, and the committee advised you to say, for the format of this, for the wholesome functioning of this place, in keeping with the attainment and achievement of the Liberian people interest and desire for a more vibrant, a more prosperous airport, right? You need to remove, you insisted, you kept the man there, and this is what that makes you an accomplice, Mr. President. In my opposition to you, I don't want to believe that you're also going to be a man sitting there and endorsing these kinds of egregious manipulation and theft against the country. This is equal to theft. Absolutely, this is equal to theft. So it's good that you're back. Furthermore, the panel also observed that the handling of the bribery and solicitation allegation was proceeded with the principle of a man enabled by partisans entitlement, works up one morning and denigrated the reputation of our airport and said that there was bribery ongoing there without doing the due diligence of firstly investigating. That is to indicate that this man has ulterior motive that's not, genuinely in the best interest of the management and the operation of the airport. So why are you still keeping this man there, Mr. President? When you can tell the man, get the man anywhere. But the people say keeping the man there doesn't mean well for the airport. Serious allegations of a criminal nature, which can damage reputation, Mr. President, and undermine institutional integrity. That's what it did. The man accused the institution, damage its reputation, damage the integrity of the organization. If you still keep the man there, it gives validation to this allegation. And it says another thing, that you are shielding corruptions at the airport. And this is why all of you advisors to the president must take this up with the president and ensure that the president takes action. Allegations like these must be carefully verified before being presented as facts. In this case, the chairman relied on unverified information. So the committee is telling you, Mr. President, this chairman relied on unverified information, just pull all kind of cartoon issues together and submit it to your office. So imagine, Mr. President, if you're going to act on this man's recommendation, he was leading you to the hole. That's where this man was leading you to. So the panel said, no, Mr. President, you have a man who does not even properly verify, who does not painstakingly take his time before writing a communication to you. You have to take action. Now, what did the board conclude? What did the panel conclude? Therefore, the panel recommends removing the chairman of the board and proposes restructuring the board of directors. And that's what we've come to tell you this morning, Mr. President. Please do not sleep on this. And this is a reminder. Yan Martin has to be removed in accordance with the investigative report, and the board has to be restructured, so to speak. That we'll be here again on Friday to see, let's hope between now to Friday, the president takes action. The president does something about this. And then we see what happened from there on. Fellow Liberians, let's move past. So the weekend was in district number 11, E. Jonathan Goodrich, on the campus of the E. Jonathan Goodrich Bartonsville Estate. You all know that? That's where we were. And this is what that happened. Okay, this is what that happened. Oh my God. Let me go back. Let me go back. Okay.
The report is talking about comprehensive report. It's an accountant. When you discuss a comprehensive report, it should be list with a budget. The budget should be included. How much was dispersed to the district? How much was spent over the period? But if you look at this, it's not talking about how much the people spent on this and on this. How much was given to you? The one that you guys so much that say, oh, for the birthday party for December, we want you to play a program that will do something. If you gave the person $5,000, when they take a report, they should make a report $5,000 that they received. We know how much.
So residents in district number 11 expressed disappointment and, of course, dissatisfaction with the speaker, the regime speaker, the lawmaker, Richard Nangbe Kun. On yesterday, he, over the weekend, he stood to report to the district on how he has been managing the district resources and all of that. But now, interestingly, while the speaker was making a delivery of his report and people saw all kinds of things you're saying, but carefully, they felt that the report lacked the meat, the substance. And I seem to agree. And this is a challenge to the speaker's office, the regime speaker's office, the Unity Party speaker's office. This is a challenge to you to make available your financial report. The district wants to look at it. The people you serve wants to look at it. They see you go around, get yourself involved with a lot of things, but they want to know, in the first place, how much did district number 11 receive from national government? Whether through the county development fund, if there is anything available as such, or the social development funds, if there's anything available as such, right? When those basic facts are known and they're quantified, or they are monitored, then we know, for example, let's say for the pure honor review, district number 11 received 600,000. Then the district is sitting to know how did the representative in his office utilize the 600,000 to benefit district number 11 to begin with. What were the procedure? Were the procedure in conformity with accounting principles, due diligence requirements, and procurement standards? Who did the project or the contract go to benefit? How were those contracts even awarded? Is the lawmaker acting in conformity with accountability standards, or the lawmaker is just doing knee-jerk things, just operating because I'm the regime speaker? He passes around and he passes around and act as though okay, I want to be sure. So he passes around and act as though he is some kind of a philanthropist and giving out. And no, you're utilizing public money. So this 11 people, I want you all to listen very well. You're utilizing public money, and you ought to be accountable for it. You get those money because you're the lawmaker for the people of district number 11. You get those money, the state gives you this money because you're the lawmaker of district number 11. So you're not doing any goodwill to the people. You don't have any kind of source outside of what government gives you to do for district 11. So you're not a philanthropist. So basically, when you come out now to make an annual report, right? It has to be a detailed, comprehensive report. And most times, I am not an accountant or a financial expert, but a basic reporting standards will require you to first of all disclose your receivable. The cash or the revenue. You must have the revenue, right? You must make report on the revenue, the sources of the revenue, right? So for verification purposes and accuracy. So when that is known and that is already stated, then you come to the expenditure aspect. The expenditure aspects, right? The due diligence, the compliance issues. Now, then anybody reading that report know that you've presented, but you can't and only present to the people of District 11 as if to say, then go school, the thing that you're doing. So where are you getting the money from? How are you getting the money? Who's giving you the money? How much in total are we talking about? It's not clear. For me, I don't want to begin saying, stuff or suggesting anything, but we are saying they have to do more. So the onus is on the Speaker's office now to make available his report. Listen, not me making it, right? Citizens were being interviewed. Why the people they were angry. So what are we celebrating?
So the 55th starts from 2024 because I would agree now. So they just start to give the map to few people.
And the dude was just there jumping around. You know how Speaker Bo can turn. So loud, lousy, and I mean the man is discordial. He's talking, but he makes these kinds of discordial sounds, and it's even difficult to have him come through in a very responsible manner. So when you're talking and you're disturbing, you're that kind of way. That's how the man speaks. So the people were there. Citizens were saying, no. What are we celebrating? You even tell us what you get. You're just collecting all the money from the place. So why you're having it? Right? So you call it, you even tell how much you get. So we know you to be having factory here, to be having industry that you're getting extra money, that I play getting the money. So first of all, tell how much the government get on. Let them know on the district that they won't receive from rescue government. Then you tell on how you made the decision on it, right? So could that be a reason why the Speaker skipped that, or the Speaker did not want to reveal it? Reportings are for accountability, but in the process of reporting, you cannot skip proper accountability, and then you think you've done a good job, and that's why the person saying they're not going to celebrate this. But this has become a pattern in the rescue government.
They don't have the kind of majestic to visit every home in the world. So we're trying to make power and know what we are. I have been a community chair recently.
Kappa, the men put your knee in a report. The men put Kappa knee in a report. Stealing government money. It's not easy. So while I leave the regime speaker and go to the president's office on the final lap of the conversation this morning, as we make sense of the quality of representation our leaders are making for us and the dividend that comes out of it. The president is the chief of staff. Did I say chief of staff? Is the commander-in-chief of the army, the head of government, the chief executive of the Republic of Liberia, and the chief diplomat of the Republic of Liberia. You understand? So that is that. And those title comes with enormous responsibilities. Enormous responsibilities. Now, I'm going to play you the full interview of the president's France 24 media conversation. And you will listen to a segment in this interview where the president, His Excellency Joseph Newman Boakai, right, blame and excuses the questions about corruptions in the country, in the government, and he blames you, the Liberian people. You know, when you have leaders that always do not want to take responsibility, it's a problem. Read the Bible, read the Quran, you will find something there about it. Leaders are supposed to take responsibilities. It is that responsibilities pushes the leader, right, to be creative and find solution. But a leader that runs away, puts in excuses, right, is a lazy and unproductive leader that will achieve absolutely nothing because he does not see any a challenge of his own, or rather he finds people to excuse the situation and blame it on. So you listen. The president blames you, the Liberian people, and said that it is because you are lazy. That's why the country is corrupt. That's why there is corruption in the country. And that because you are corrupt and lazy, that is the reason why there can be no, or there is no progress in the country. There is no progress. There is no economic growth. But he did not tell France 24 that his Ministry of Finance is here increasing taxes on poor Liberian businesses. He did not tell France 24 that the reason that there is no economic progress in the country is because the government has tightened the screws and, of course, put a bureaucratic chin on the economy in ways that's not flexible enough for the realization of the Liberian dream. He did not say that. Under his leadership, he did not inform France 24 that at the PPCC, the Public Procurement and Concession Commission, where government that is the biggest, the buyers of goods and services, and the biggest employer, the biggest custodian of contracts, right, in the country, that at the PPCC, he has instituted a policy, right, that further deny Liberian the opportunity to economic progress and relief. How? Now, let me tell you this. Like I said the other day, when asked about the economic condition in the country and the poverty and corruption, the president skips the diabolical institution of disastrous policy by his government and blames the colossal failures on the ordinary Liberian people and describe them as lazy. A leader that's fond of derogatory addressing his citizens countless occasions, right? And always escaping responsibility and finding blames for his ineptitudes, inefficiency, and lack of prudent leadership foresight. Now, at the PPCC has introduced a system that qualifies vendor and puts them on an electronic platform. That means in Liberia, for anybody to do business with government, to be awarded government contracts, to benefit from government services, right? you must pay a certain amount of money from 1,000 and above to be emitted onto that electronic platform. This wasn't the case before, as I've been told. So that is additional burden on the Liberian people that they perhaps and deny the ordinary Liberian businessman an opportunity to an open and competitive playing field. The field is no longer playing and competitive. The field has been, a kind of a design in ways that you have to meet a certain benchmark. So now, when that leader goes and is asked on international media, he must quote these kinds of measures that are in place. These kinds of measures that are chaining Liberian businesses. So, and the requirements to qualifying and being admitted on those on that PPCC platform is so much Herculean, so to speak, for struggling Liberian businesses worth 10,000, 15,000, and 20,000, and all of that. The requirements are so tough. So now, why they come outside and argue and talk about liberalization, but when you go on the PPCC platform, right? For example, in catering services, you will see no Liberian catering company qualified to be there. Of all of the catering firms that you will see on the PPCC electronic platform, you will barely see Liberian company. So government say they're not doing business with Liberian caterers anymore because you're not qualified and you're not visible on the PPCC platform for bidding and contracts. The president told you one. The president said Liberian people are lazy. That what there is corruption, no progress, no economic growth in the country. Your time will come. But let's play the meat of it. Also in the interview, the president spoke about the Solomba border, which we'll talk about. And then we'll open the phone lines. And then you'll have your say. It's important. This is the most experienced president. The man who is supposed to know what to do. And along the interview line, you will see how the president sounds so shallow on governance questions. And sometimes when I'm speaking like this, and some of you feel like, oh, I'm trying to be, and for me, I'm a straightforward guy. It really doesn't matter how you feel about it, but I'm a straightforward guy. I do not expect the president with all of the experience to be sounding shallow on an international interview about governance and leadership on his watch. But there's one singular reason, because the government has no convincing response to some of the questions being asked. So the government has to skip, right, divert, and start to talk a whole different thing outside of the questions being asked. Listen to the interview. Let's get it.
Good neighbors, working with them at getting under control.
Hello and welcome to Tete a Tete, France 24's flagship interview show. Our guest today is the president of Liberia, Joseph Boakai. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for being our guest.
Thanks for inviting me.
Liberia has often been associated with civil war, poverty, and lack of democracy. You were elected. What is...
Those were the premise of the journalist's question. Liberia has been associated with wars, with civil wars, lack of democracy, poverty, and blah, blah, blah. So listen to our leaders. Listen to our leader, our president.
Your main priority, is it peace? Is it democracy? Is it bringing foreign investment to Liberia? Or all of the above?
I'm glad you added that. It's all of the above. But I believe for a country that had gone through conflicts.
First of all, the president did not do justice to the country. The president should have begun with indicating that as much as we are not strong in terms of everything, but we are not a country that lacks democracy. If this country lacked democracy, Bouaka would not be president today. The president needed to put up a representation for Liberia at the international level. But the president agrees with the interviewer that Liberia is a country marked by civil war, poverty, lack of democracy, a picture of a failed country. And the president sits there, endorses that, right, and laughs about it because there's a man who is only interested in himself, right? He doesn't see the responsibility and the duty of shouldering that tax, of being the voice to speak for the country. If this was George Weah, the guys would be running with it. This is our country. After 20 plus years since the cessation of hostility, we've had back-to-back successive elections and transitions in this country. Right? We have had one of the most credible, transparent, and democratically friendly electoral processes since the cessation of hostility in our country. If you go as a president on a platform and you are told that our country does not practice democracy, you must say a word or two to begin with. Now, listen to that.
The first and foremost, I believe, was to bring about peace and reconciliation. And then also get the people to understand that
listen to the mail.
We have a nation that we need to build. And so after the peace and reconciliation...
And the way the president speaks sometimes, and the folks don't even get it. And the people must know that, I don't know, the old man looks so very unserious. Absolutely. This is French 24. And the people must know that our country is new big peace and what thing. And that's what I say, sounded shallow.
We should move to the next area where we change our habits that have become a problem to development.
Okay, listen, he is getting there, right? The president skips all of the structural, administrative, bureaucratic failures that he himself has been historically a part of. The president says, and he's sitting on international wires and trying to say all of these things, like the interviewer said, poverty, lack of democracy, civil war, backwardness. He said all of it are due to our...
Such as corruption, such as maybe the idea of maybe laziness or the don't care attitude about a nation become patriotic. And that's why we've been working with trying to read development, such as corruption, such as maybe the idea of maybe laziness or...
You're listening to the experienced president, such as maybe such as laziness, such as what is that? What is this? This was a disgrace on the part of the president, and you all have to own it. You Yuppies have to own this mess, and that's what you don't like to hear. Yeah? You're looking for war at your level, your age, education. You say Donald Trump is celebrating you for speaking good English, and then you're struggling for what to even say in addressing a simple question. Embarrassed by failures.
The don't care attitude about a nation become patriotic.
What's
and
that?
That's why we've been working with trying to...
What they call don't care attitude about a nation? That's what you call patriotic. How don't care attitude can become patriotic attitude? What kind of old man is this? I told you, you're probably going to go for one thing in the interview. That's zero, the men's score. I said they don't care attitude, is what we call patriotic. If that job, we are going to have the kind of interview. Boy.
Read the remote minds of the people toward development, toward moving themselves from where they are to a better life, which is available that we can do, provided we are determined to do so, and I think we can do it.
You spoke just before the next round of questions. Let's review how the president did with this first set of questions. First of all, the president did not address the issues with the kind of response that communicate intentional policy actions to addressing those fundamentally established challenges with the country, because these are fundamentally historical challenges, right? Then what the interviewer intended was to generate from our president what are his approach to tackling these things. So the president will have projected a policy perspective, right? A program, approach. The president did not say anything about that. He just rumbled in cycles about all kinds of things, patriotism, don't care attitude, laziness, the people were corrupt, blame game, blame shifting. When you have the opportunity to tell the war, what solution do you have? What solution have you triggered, right, to addressing those fundamentally historical challenges, drawbacks for the country? The president feared that. The president didn't do that. Mr. President didn't do absolutely anything.
Peace, you spoke about reconciliation. You didn't mention justice. We know that there are many calling for justice, including for warlords.
You see? So the journalist himself noticed and pick up from there. Okay. We got war, we got poverty, we got corruption and things. But then you just mention reconciliation. And not by the mention of reconciliation means as well. But there are processes. But how you talk reconciliation and you've not told us about justice? How?
Who have not been brought to justice. Does it mean that to have reconciliation, you need to forget justice?
There cannot be peace without justice. And I think we have demonstrated that when we signed the executive order against war crimes and economic crime, saying to the Liberian people that impunity cannot build a country. And this is what we demonstrated, in addition to making them at the same time know that you cannot live in a country where people...
Mr. President, commitment to reconciliation or justice is not just by signing an executive order. It goes beyond that. Mr. President, beyond signing the executive order, what financial commitment have you made? Let's evaluate it, right? What is the cost of ensuring justice for victims of war crimes and crimes against humanity in Liberia, to begin with the reconciliation processes, right? From grievances born out of our civil unrest. At least to talk about the ones that you are perpetuating now, right? Because it is not all of the grievances that comes just from war. There are grievances that you are perpetuating now. What are you doing, right? How much did you put there? What is the practical demonstrated government's commitment to justice for war crimes victims? They cry out every day.
People are carrying
use your stories to campaign
without reconciling them.
I want to talk about the impact of major U.S. and Western aid cuts. Your country is still a fragile country. It needed development aid. This is not going to happen because of Donald Trump, but also because of Western governments in Europe, especially cutting development aid. How much of an impact is it having on Liberia?
The impact is enormous, but again, we have to understand And that is a major lesson for us to know that the best planning is for yourself, that you don't depend on people indefinitely. It's unfortunate, but I always expect that the best way to plan is to plan for yourself. So Liberians are learning and they're building the resilience to be able to move on without these. We cannot do it completely in a day, but I think we are transitioning to understanding that it is about time that we move. We have the resources, we have the manpower, we have the knowledge. So it's to teach us to begin to build on our own.
Right, but if you add to this the wars in Ukraine and especially now in the Gulf region, this is having a major impact on the daily lives of Africans in general and Liberians, obviously.
Well, the country must continue. We are a country, irrespective of what happened elsewhere. We are part of the global community, but we also have a country. We have a responsibility that doesn't stop us from.
So, are you carefully listening to the president's response on these very critical geopolitical questions? And he's just brushing them off, passing over it as if it doesn't bother him. Is the president not realizing the pinch on the daily lives of ordinary Liberians from the effect of these global uncertainties? And the president just making it to look like, oh, we have to move on. Is that the way are we just going to move on because the president have declared that we have to move on? Oh, okay. So the president has everything. He enjoys his immunity and everything is made available to him. He fly whenever he wants to fly. He gets medical attention whenever he wants to. Everything he needs, he gets it. So he doesn't really feel directly the pinch of what is going on. But it's the president paying attention to what the ordinary people are going through. That when you are posed with questions like these, right? You pause, reflect, and give a punchy response that reminds the globe and pushes global power, right, to the point of getting to something. And I'm going to digress a little bit, right, to let you know that
making sure that
to let you know that the U.S. and the Iranian, for example, with the Gulf situation, have been locked in negotiation over this whole peace deal. The latest is that a fact counts proposal that both parties have come up with and all of that. But with a third world country like us, our leaders seizing the moment to communicate, right? It pushes the hands of these global powers to do something. But if our president presented that, oh, but it's the people's decision, we got to move on. We are a country. We are a country. We are a country.
We find ways in which we can use our resources well. We can begin to discipline ourselves in a way that we know that our survival depends on ourselves first and other communities. But lesson for us to know that help is help, but you have to depend on yourself.
Right. I mentioned President Donald Trump. Everyone remembers your visit to the Oval Office where he was surprised that you spoke such a good English. But this aside, the U.S. has asked several African countries to accept illegal immigrants.
Okay, listen to this one. This is the one the president, in Liberia, they refuse to tell us exactly what the government position is on this illegal immigrant deportation and resettlement thing. And now he's asked up there. Listen to the president presents a shallow response.
That were thrown out of the United States. Do you agree with this? Is Liberia going to do this? Has it been asked to do this?
Well, the U.S. is still our friend, to be very frank. Yes.
They not ask you what are the U.S. and you friendly, you and U.S. in war, nothing. They not ask you that, right? The question was pointed on the illegal immigrant situation in the U.S. The U.S. have been engaging African countries on the deportation and resettlement arrangement. Have they spoken to you about that? What is your position on it? Then you jump, oh, the U.S. are our friend.
They have taken actions for themselves, but we have not completely, without their friendship.
And you see, so we have not completely. This is it. The president said the U.S. have taken actions for themselves, but we have not completely. Right? He did not end that. Then he said, we're taking action, right, for themselves, but we have not completely. And then he did not end that. He said, Mr. President, what is it?
I mean, we have to understand that countries have responsibility to themselves.
He jumped from there.
Primarily.
We are. Countries are our responsibility
we
to
are all
themselves.
Humans, and we all need each other.
Then
we
he
still
jumped to
relate to the U.S.
because we are
the
human.
people who are in the U.S.
We
they
still
went
relate
there
to
for
the-
various reasons.
Okay, so he changed the whole debate.
And some of those who went
Right?
there, who took the right steps,
and you see, the president confused the whole interview, the whole thing. He changes the whole debate.
they've been processed, but the U.S. is still our friend.
So you are accepting them?
We still
okay.
work with them.
Yes, but those
in a way, I mean, according to they are amending their own way of life.
So now, can we say the president has confessed in as much as he struggled? Because when the interviewer put him, right, or he said, in a way. So the man said, do you accept? And he said, in a way. Let me go back a little bit.
We have to understand that countries have responsibility to themselves, primarily. But because we are all humans and we all need each other, we still relate to the U.S. The people who are in the U.S., they went there for various reasons.
That
and
might
some
be
of
the thing
those
that they
who
asked me
went
about.
there, who took the right steps, they are still being processed. But the U.S. is still our friend.
So you are accepting them?
We still work with them.
Yes, but those
in a way, I mean, according to
right, so either way, he's watching the pass by. In a way. So, fellow librarians, get ready for that. I told you a lot of things came out of the interview. President says, as I asked, that in a way, they have accepted or they're accepting illegal immigrants that will be coming from America. That is that.
Amending their own.
About the state of democracy in West Africa.
I think Liberia has enough experience. Liberia has had a lot of problems in trying to become a country, and we have learned that, doing everything possible to show them that we are experienced enough in conflict, and we are avoiding conflict, and we know that we can do it by working with them as good neighbors, working with them as people who know that we have interdependence, even as neighbors, in smaller ways, because the people in the region all belong to almost the same families.
Right, but ECOWAS is not a family anymore. 3 countries have been expelled
Well,
because of the coup.
not
Is
quite
it still
so.
relevant? That's my question.
Not quite so. ECOWAS is Africans. They have made a decision, but we believe that there might be second thoughts to think about the decision they have made, and we cannot throw them out because remember, most of these countries are countries that have no access to
the sea.
Yeah. So there's no way they can live independent of countries that have access that they can make use of. So we work with them. We try to
If
make
I'm a
them
real
understand
storyteller, yeah.
that we're
Oh,
still
they're talking
available as friends.
Tango village story there.
Well, it's a decision they have to make, but we have to encourage them by the way in which also we treat our people, because whatever made them to decide otherwise, we have to show them that we all can live together. We can help to teach our people. Some of the reasons that people left, the leadership.
I don't know what the public
attributed
saying.
to
I'm
those
not waiting
things.
for the.
If you treat the people the way they should be, lead a country by example,
Hey, oh, man,
try to
Baga.
provide for your people you can demonstrate a way that will encourage other people to come to work.
You've mentioned the need to have good neighborly relations.
Yes.
Okay.
There's one neighbor with which you have some tense relations, Guinea. There have been some border issues for years. They came up again on the agenda. What is your message to the president of Guinea and the presidents of the region about those tensions today?
Fortunately, the president of Guinea and myself been sharing sit-stand this morning. And we've been speaking very well. In fact, the first question he asked me, how is the border situation?
Imagine the audacity. Our president, who said he's been locked in diplomatic negotiation to resolving the border crisis. In the picture that's been created by the government, we are not the aggressor, right? We are not. The aggressor in this instance is Guinea. So then, how then Guinea becomes the one to ask us how's the border situation? Who is supposed to take steps to go back, right? As per the picture presented to us by our government, is the Guineans. So if anybody should be asking their friend, should be our president.
I told him things are getting under control. I think the president of Guinea is.
And the president said he told the Guinean president that, don't worry, things are getting under control. Don't worry. The way we agree on, I'm doing my best. Please, just give me some time. Things are getting under control. He said things are under control. He said things are getting under control. He and Doumbouya knows what they call or what they define are under control. Whereby, in Liberia, we believe things are still tense because several villages are displaced, right? With no access to their farmland, no access to their homes.
Beginning to know that we are good neighbors, we are family people, and I think his thinking is changing. So
the worst is behind us.
I would believe so, but we have to work at it because tension don't just disappear in a day, but we are doing everything to show him that we are good neighbors. We've been working together for years, and we can continue to do that.
So you trust Mamadi Doumbouya?
So, we'll come to the trust about, is it that it is on us to prove to Guinea or the Guinean president that we are good neighbor? Why have it become a burden for us and our government to prove to Doumbouya that we're a good neighbor? Should we stop to ask our president, Mr. President, why have we accepted the burden to prove that we're a good neighbor? What did we do that presented us as a bad neighbor that we have to make amends and prove that we're a good neighbor? You people had in something that you got to say to us.
Mamadi Doumbouya and I talked today, and I called him my nephew, and I said today I'll be seeing him.
On the serious matter about trust with the life, the economic, the survival in business, with hundreds of Liberians trapped along the border lines, the president makes that out of a nephew and uncle conversation. The journalist asks a simple question: do you trust Doumbouya in this arrangement? It's over months, and this man has not withdrew his people. The situation will remain tense. Do you trust him? And the president is laughing about that. And the man and my nephew. So your nephew has, for the lack of a better word, encouraged and displaced your people. Over 30 villages in 4 years. You sit on international radio. So 3 things, folks. I'm going to open the phone lines and let's hear you on this interview. President, the Doumbouya thing, did the president call it? And on the deportation of illegal Americans, and of course the president referenced and blame placed on Liberians as being lazy and responsible for the backwardness of the country, ignoring the failures of his policies and program, and the entrapment of our people into economic quagmire. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 +231 86 500 104. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Okay, my name is Tony McKeldis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of the time, whenever we have opportunity to go into interview with people,
Mm-hmm.
to the favor of the people and to present yourself so that people have interest. So on the international pedestal, when you're going to do an interview, you are telling them, that I'm going to market my product.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to market Liberia so that other people will find interest and investment to come and invest into your country.
That's correct.
But what the president did, one information that he passed over, you know what he did?
Mm-mm.
He poured the entire interview and he passed over. You know what was that interview? Is to market Liberian to be lazy, is to market Liberian to be corrupt, and market Liberian to be hungry people.
And lazy people. So he has already damaged Liberian image already.
Yeah, you have damaged the image of Liberia. And how can you and somebody be in a conflict? Then you turn around and tell the person, say, the person is my nephew. Then another thing you say, I guess the person asked me the question this morning. Are you the aggressor? Have you done something to that person? The person is encroaching on your property. Then you say, and the person asked me how is the situation this morning. My brother, we put somebody.
Are you disappointed in the president?
Complete disappointment. Complete disappointment. Can we bring somebody to power that's a novice? So when people are saying the party is solving for Tunisia,
okay, thank you very much. Good morning. Time is fast spent. Go ahead. Let's hear you. Did the president put up a kind of representation? Good morning.
Good morning, Abu. I'm Kaifa Steven. I'm coming from 12th Street.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Abu, the interview our president gave at the France 24, he didn't mean well for the country. There was a simple question asked at this president. And we all in this country always asking this president the similar question. What is the situation with is the issue around the border? Can I even answer the citizen of this country? Then a foreigner is asking, he still cannot understand that he needs to defend or oath to defend and support the country. No, the only thing we get on United Party is lie. Down there, President Brother go there in lie. They ask for illegal migrants from America. The truth is illegal. You say you friend to America, so anything America do that, hey, America legacy, they can't see all your letter. Why? When did Liberia arrive at this city? Look, we need to bring the letters of George Weah back to power because we follow still do the letters of CDC, do the letters of George Weah. There was nobody taking our land. But George Weah was there, there was free tuition. George Weah was allocated for Liberians. Now, years on the contrary for these people. After 3 years, only 3 years, the see reason to change these people from this position, get this country back to the
okay. Thank you very much. We expect that the old man will put out the best representation for us when you go out there. But listen to this interview. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Morning. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Let me tell you, President Baga says hello. President Baga needs to bring our topic out there. He needs to tell you know, making complete mockery of President Baga. Mockery.
Mm-hmm.
Was making.
But how the president go out international and go tell the world, say, Liberian, we are lazy people. Say our laziness. That mean we can't make progress.
I would the other clip that yesterday when the poor having a program,
mm-hmm.
You know that President Baga was praising someone Fala. He said Fala get it right. Anything Fala wants we can do it. Fala buy the land. Fala the individual man. Fala the good man. Fala show anything Fala say Fala can do it. President Baga said that. He praising Fala today. Fala strong.
Okay, thank you very much. The man Fala in Kuku Jumoku. You're not inside. You don't know. Good morning. Morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
I'm okay, but I'm just sad that our president, with the opportunity to speak on our behalf and market us, went and said that we are lazy people. Nobody should come to invest in us because we are lazy. Go ahead, let's hear you.
Yes, thank you. I listened to the video play and the video on France 24 because they play on that video, and also I've listened to
some your analysis. I want to thank you for this analysis. But leadership has a lattice and has a strength. In the people's mind, I believe that Joseph Boakai represented them well in the Unity Party. So, whatever the cases may be, he has represented the people. And we'll wait for
no. But I want we play it for yourself to listen to it. Now. I mean, judgment on it. Do you think the representation was adequately, quality?
We get two parties.
No. Let's forget about the party. Let's forget about the party. You're not speaking representing any party. You're representing yourself and your country. So, what do you think?
Yeah. So, when I listen to the video or the video that you guys played, there are some statements he made that is good, but there are some statements also he didn't represent. Well, for example, to call Liberian people, if they are listening, when I listen to it, they are listening. To didn't use that because to already represent the country at the.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I'm going to hold you there. That was a very sluggish and terrible representation of the country. Good morning. Let's hear you.
Good morning, Abu Sharif.
Morning.
Thank you. My name is Never Kotu. I call you from a single resident.
Mm-hmm.
Abu, I see no reason why investors not coming to our country. Because you should present a case and we encourage investors to come. But you didn't give.
Oh, never. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Morning.
Let me say good morning to your audience. This is Thomas.
Thomas, go ahead. The man who are supposed to tell the world and show the world that we have very strong, energetic people, trustworthy people who can work. They may go and tell the world that we are lazy. What's the hope?
Abu, no Boakai went to market his ignorance. You see, I don't know. This old man is dull to the extent that he's going to.
No. Oh, my man, we can't be doing that one now. You can tell your thing, yeah, my man. Yeah, so the president go call all this. Then I say you cannot, you won't be disrespecting the president. Good morning. Morning. You are the second to the last caller. My time is up.
2 million citizens, we concern Liberian for justice.
Mm-hmm.
Our president, the president, because you know my president, where is my president?
No, he's a president. No, whether you like it or not, he's a president.
The president, he's playing. The whole government put a plan to just silence Liberia for around the world.
The man say you're lazy. Like your laziness made you're corrupt. And because you're corrupt, that made you can't develop. You're going to progress in anything you do. The president did everything for himself. He's saying by a clean man, only one strong in the country. All of y'all, you're lazy. Okay. Thank you very much. That story. That another. Good morning. Oh.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. Go ahead.
Abu, let me say something to you. Anytime your president gets to the microphone, he don't make sense to me. He don't make sense. And the first thing about it, I want to be
our president is very experienced. I say who experienced, man. Not many other men in government. Is it the man can make sense?
He don't make sense. I'll be honest with you, he don't make sense. And the second thing about it, during the campaign time, everybody say, oh, that was political talk. When Jeremiah said his brain is going down. And this thing that Jeremiah say is coming to pass. So you understand, anytime that man goes to the microphone, he don't show me one instant that makes sense. When I'm making new line, that will make.
Oh, Edmond can't push him out. Edmond, okay, quickly, 30 seconds.
Oh, man, my man. I will thank you, man. I'm about to concern Liberia for justice. You see, this is the reason why the old man, since he became president, he had traveled around the world 2 years, 5 months plus. He's unable to attract anything to this country. Because the first thing when he appeared before his colleagues, he showed them that he is a inferior president. He did not show himself to the people that he is a president. You think if even Guinea president ever asked that question, Boakai didn't know the answer that he was supposed to give to that Guinean president?
The man said the man are his nephew. So Boakai know, and he's saying that his own nephew can invade and take Liberian people land.
Oh yeah, and go at the days where we'll go at the national scene and begin to discuss a Palawa discussion. No, where in the Palawa where you gather around and the old man say there and narrate story to the children. No, that's not what you were elected for. He does every question when you want to push him, making sure that he answers the question. He come with that angle. Why you don't want to be clear? So the issue about Guinea, the espresso or Yeke. They were just sure that is a fact that Brother agreed in principle to take that piece of land over to the Guinean. Okay? Because he is proving that. Brother said we're lazy. Yesterday he was begging to survive. Immediately he left vice president for 12 years. What kind of nation can come in the country to invest when you are saying your people are lazy? Or reconciliation?
And another time he said we are beggars. We are lazy, we are beggars.
Oh yeah, he said it on video. He said everywhere.
Yeah, man, they probably here too. They probably here. They probably they probably. Hey, my people. What one? We been voting in the country, but they are voting here. They are voting for our secret also. Then you gotta tell the police probably in the town. You know, and Mr. Kumi warned. Mr. Kumi said, if you're in the village and you take the only hook or tools and give it to the old man in the town or the village, that entire village will go hungry. And y'all didn't listen. Y'all took it and give it to Black Eye. And here is it. When you go say we beggar, you go say we lazy. But folks, I gotta go home. My time is up. My name is Abu. Until we see you tomorrow, do have a wonderful time. And see you in the Champions League next season. We're talking Champions League. We ain't talking Chelsea here.